Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into, well, a really fascinating intersection. High-performance watchmaking and the incredibly tough world of professional cycling.
Absolutely. Precision meets pure grit.
Exactly. And our mission today, it's really to give you a crisp, insightful look at Tudor's latest cycling watch, the Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow. We want to pull out the key bits of knowledge from the material you've shared. Because this isn't just about a watch, is it? It's a story, a brand's commitment, a legend like Fabian Cancellara, and one of the biggest races out there.
Yeah, precisely. It's how that engineering connects with endurance, how a watch can sort of capture that spirit, not just looks, but, the actual design, the function.
And Tudor's involvement in cycling, I mean, it's way more than just, putting a logo on things. They are the sole sponsor of the Tudor Pro Cycling Team. That's pretty unique.
It really is. That's a serious level of commitment.
What does that kind of investment, tell us about where they see themselves in the sport?
Well, it speaks volumes, really. It's not just about getting their name out there. It's a deep, strategic thing. And it's built around their partnership with Fabian Cancellara.
Right, the cycling icon.
Yeah, exactly. He's been key in shaping the team's vision, and that direct involvement, well, it really sets the scene for these very specialized watches we're going to talk about. It's a proper synergy.
And you can kind of see that synergy playing out in the watches themselves, can't you?
Yeah.
They didn't just, boom, release a cycling watch to the public.
No, not at first.
They started with that special edition Black Bay Chrono, remember? But that was like super exclusive.
Yeah.
Team members only.
Right, an insider piece. Created a bit of buzz, though.
Totally. And I think fans, myself included, were definitely making noise, wanting something, we could actually buy.
Uh-huh.
So for the Giro d'Italia in 2024, Tudor listened. They launched their first commercially available cycling watch, the Tudor Pelagos FXD Chrono Cycling Edition.
And that showed they were paying attention, responding to that interest.
Definitely felt like it.
And they kept that ball rolling. Earlier this year, 2025, for the Giro again, we saw that limited edition Pelagos FXD Chrono Pink.
Ah, yes, the pink one.
Yeah, a direct nod to the Maglia Rosa, the pink jersey for the race leader. And mentioning the pink is important, actually, because it sets up the context perfectly for this new yellow edition.
Speaking of yellow,
Yeah.
that immediately makes you think Tour de France, right? Arguably the biggest, most prestigious race globally.
The big one, yeah.
And that's where Fabian Cancellara's story really sort of hits its stride. He first rode the Tour way back in 2016. Incredible career there.
Phenomenal.
He wore the Maillot Jaune, that iconic yellow jersey, for, get this, 29 days in total across his career.
29 days, that's remarkable.
And bagged 8 stage victories on top of that. Just amazing.
And the Maillot Jaune, it's more than just a yellow shirt, isn't it? It's the symbol of leadership in the Tour's general classification. It tells everyone who's leading a whole race.
The ultimate prize, really.
Exactly. And Cancellara's history with it is legendary. What's really interesting now is that in 2025, he's back in France, but as a team owner.
Right, leading his team.
Yeah. And he'll be wearing this new Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow. And the crucial part for everyone listening, it's also going to be available for the public to buy.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this watch then. Cancellara's there wearing the yellow watch.
Yeah.
The big question, the burning question, I guess, is how is this yellow one different from the previous Pelagos FXD Chronos?
Yeah.
The general cycling one and the pink one. What's really new?
Well, objectively, if we're talking core specs, not a whole lot, actually.
No.
The Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow is primarily about the color. Those bright yellow accents on the dial, on the strap, everything else. Mechanically, structurally, it's identical to the previous editions.
So it's essentially a special colorway. Does that lessen its impact a bit? Or maybe it actually deepens the meaning, given the Cancellara yellow jersey connection?
I'd lean towards the second one. It deepens the symbolism. I don't think it's about reinventing the watch itself. It's more about celebrating a very specific, very iconic achievement and connection.
Oh, like that.
It takes a platform they know works, something race-proven, and links it directly to, the absolute pinnacle of cycling achievement.
Makes sense. And talking about that platform, just for anyone listening who maybe isn't deep into Tudor's lines,
Yeah.
this watch is part of the FXD family. That means fixed lugs. What's the big deal with fixed lugs in a context like this? Why choose that?
Right, good question. So FXD means the strap bars are integrated directly into the case. They aren't spring bars you can pop out. They're solid, fixed parts of the watch head.
Okay, so very secure.
Extremely secure. Think about it from a pro cyclist perspective.
Yeah.
The vibrations, the potential impacts. You need gear that is absolutely solid. Fixed lugs means zero play, zero chance of the strap failing at a critical moment. Ultimate stability on the wrist, whether you're sprinting or rattling over cobblestones.
Gotcha. Absolute reliability. And even though it's got the Pelagos name and the FXD structure, it's not a dive watch, is it?
No, absolutely not. That's a key point. Despite the name association, this is purpose-built as a racing chronograph.
Okay.
It has a fixed bezel, not a rotating dive bezel, and crucially, that case is carbon fiber composite. It's built for the road, for speed, for endurance, not diving. It actually shares some thinking with their Black Bay Chrono Carbon 25.
Right, that carbon case. Let's talk about that. Specs are 43 millimeter diameter, 13.2 millimeters thick, those integrated lugs, all in this black, matte-finished carbon composite. How does that actually feel on the wrist, especially for an athlete where weight matters?
It feels light, surprisingly light for its size, but also really rigid and strong. That carbon composite is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a cyclist, like you said, every gram can make a difference. A lighter watch means less fatigue, less distraction. The matte finish is practical too, cuts down glare. And the pushers, they're direct action, not screw down, meaning you can operate the chronograph instantly. No unscrewing needed. Crucial for quick timing adjustments mid-race. Plus, you've got the sapphire crystal for scratch resistance and a solid screwed case back. It's built tough.
Okay, and looking at the dial, matte black, bicompax layout, so 2 subdials, nice and clean.
Yep, symmetrical.
Date window down at 6 o'clock. Luminescent markers, those ceramic composite monoblock ones, and the classic snowflake hands. And then, bang, those yellow accents.
That's the signature here. Yellow on the subcounters, yellow on the tachymeter scale.
Now, that tachymeter, you mentioned something interesting about that before. It's a special cycling tachymeter scale.
Yes. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. This isn't your standard tachymeter scaled for, say, cars going at highway speeds.
Right, which usually starts at 60 units per hour.
Exactly. This one is specifically calibrated to show average speeds that cyclists actually ride at. And critically, those speeds are often below that typical 60-kilometer minimum you find on most watch tachymeters.
Ah, so it's actually useful for cycling speeds.
Precisely. It's a subtle detail, but it's powerful. It shows this isn't just a branding exercise with a yellow stripe. It's genuinely thought out for cyclists. Purpose-built.
That is a cool detail, really practical. Okay, so powering all this, underneath the case back, which has specific engravings and the watch's unique number, is the caliber MT5813. Tell us about the engine here.
Sure. The MT5813 is a very solid movement. Its base architecture comes from the Breitling B01.
Okay. A well-regarded chronograph base.
Highly regarded, very reliable, but Tudor modifies it. They put in their own silicon hairspring, which is great for resisting magnetism and improved stability. And importantly, it's COSC certified.
The chronometer certification.
Yep. That's an independent guarantee of its accuracy under different conditions. Essential for precise timing in a race, right? It runs at 4 Hertz. Pretty standard and has a really good power reserve, 70 hours.
Nice. So reliable, accurate, lasts a long time between wins. Just like the cyclist it's aimed at, maybe.
You could say that, yeah. Endurance built in.
And finishing it off, the strap. It's a one-piece, black, technical fabric.
Correct. With hardware to match the case and that very distinct yellow stripe right down the middle, ties the whole yellow theme together nicely.
And exclusivity, you mentioned, is limited.
Very limited. Just 300 pieces worldwide.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, 300. And then price tag for one of those?
Retail price is set at 5,550 euros.
Right. So let's bring this back to you, the listener. What does all this add up to? I mean, this Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow, it feels like more than just the sum of its parts.
I think so.
It's this blend, isn't it? Tudor's precision watchmaking, that real engineering focus combined with the raw spirit of elite cycling. It gives you this unique, tangible link to the sport and to an athlete like Cancellara who just embodies that dedication. You get to wear a piece of that whole story.
Absolutely. And what really stands out, I think, is how those specific design choices, like we talked about, the fixed lugs, that cycling-specific tachymeter, they genuinely cater to the actual needs and context of pro cycling.
Yeah, it's not just colors.
No. It goes beyond just branding. It feels like a functional, thoughtful tribute. And it really reinforces Tudor's commitment, showing it's a genuine partnership, not just sponsorship.
What a fascinating deep dive this has been. We've really traced Tudor's journey into cycling, looked at Cancellara's incredible legacy, and dug into the nitty-gritty of this specific Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow. It's a brilliant example of how a brand can properly integrate with the sport and create something meaningful.
Definitely. And maybe it leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. It raises this interesting question, doesn't it? How do these highly specialized, super limited watches do more than just honor athletic achievement? How do they keep reshaping that relationship between precision tools, like a watch, and the intense demands of high-stakes competition?
Hmm.
It makes you wonder about the enduring legacy of these kinds of collaborations and maybe where sports timekeeping goes next.